Hello and welcome. My name is Olga Chwa, and I'm delighted to lead tonight an Astroyoga class. We're going to focus on an abdominal breath today, so we'll spend a few extra minutes with our breathing practice to help bellow the fuel of our inner sunshines, the light of the solar plexus by doing some abdominal breathing, engaging through the diaphragm. Thanks for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe to support this channel. It begins with getting comfortable. It begins with settling the body. And it begins with watching the natural breath. It begins with being an observer and a witness of the breath that is here right now, however it shows up. And that might take a moment. It's often a moment, especially after these movements, for the body to find its level breath, its steady breath. And to do this, I invite you to, again, get your body situated in its most comfortable place. Some of you would like to be seated. Seated is a fine option, but a horizontal lying down is also a great invitation and a great opportunity to counteract gravity on the legs. You might even put something under the knees or prop the legs up higher so that they are supported and cared for. And then we give the body a few moments. We give the body a few moments to be, I almost feel like taming the breath. It's letting the breath know that you're watching, but you're not here to control it. You're not here to change it. You're here as a witness, as a watcher, as a friendly friend sitting on the park bench next to the breath and letting the breath do its thing. We know that the body is breathing all night long when you are sound asleep. And so it's possible to breathe in this natural way, in this effortless way, while also observing. It's challenging, but possible to be the witness of a spontaneous breath. So hang out there for a little moment, inviting the spontaneous breath. And be curious about the abdomen. Can you feel the breath right now without changing, without controlling it? Can you feel it down at the middle of the trunk, down past the ribs and the diaphragm? And ideally, in a very subtle way, the body is inflating and that belly is lifting just a little bit. And then with the exhale, it's dropping. And if the opposite is true for you, take a moment to adjust that. You might want to get in there and control that so that the inhale is the filling and the exhale is the emptying. And this ongoing pattern that we can trust of the breath that comes and goes. Watching the breath, inviting that breath to be filling every inhale and releasing every exhale. And it might be nice to watch the abdomen just from the inner eye to be aware. And it might be nice to place a hand. Some people like to put a hand over the abdomen or even both hands on the belly, or a hand on the belly, a hand on the chest, to get that additional feedback. And if that's something you enjoy, if that's something that feels good, you might do that. A little pressure on the flesh. As you engage into a deeper breath, into an awareness and a specific breath that lifts the belly, you're going to inhale and inflate the abdomen, the invitation to breathe an abdominal breath. And as the exhale goes, at first the exhale's soft and natural, right? The initial exhale is just a release. You might even, at the end then, force the exhale by bringing the navel, bringing the belly button into the spine. And inhale, the belly is filled and expanded, and exhale comes in, draws in. Intentional abdominal breath for the next 5 or 6 more breaths, if it feels all right. If it's getting strained, then rest. Let your body be in softness, and if it feels good, continue with this abdominal breath. And then returning to rest, returning, letting that go, returning to natural breath, effortless breath. And we'll do another round of this abdominal breath in just a minute, but first, a return to natural breath. Another moment to just be there and to witness. What happens when you don't try to breathe? And where can you feel the breath? Where can you sense the breath? Where are the sensations of the breath noticeable? Follow the breath all the way from the edges of the nose and the chest and anywhere in the trunk of the body, in the abdomen, in the low back maybe, into the hips or pelvic floor. And what would it be like to invite even more breath into the abdomen? What would it be like to come back to the abdominal practice now with an even more expansive invitation? And you might even pause the breath. If you're familiar with the interrupted breath, if you like it, if it works for you, feel free to breathe in a little bit and pause. Breathe in a little more and pause. Inflating and expanding the abdomen, inviting even more breath to the abdomen and making the abdomen soft in the process of its filling. Allowing that breath to move into the hips, into the pelvic floor. Taking another 10 to 20 breaths, an abdominal breath. Continuing if it feels good and resting as needed. And again, taking another few breaths. Great big giant abdominal breaths. There might be even a smoothing out into just a full yogic breath. As you exaggerate the breath, as you bring in this extra oxygen into the whole system. And then let it go. You'll know the moment. You'll know the breath that says that's enough. And you return again to that spontaneous breath, that effortless breath. The breath that's there when you're not watching. And settling the body into its natural breath again, taking a moment to wait, to let this effort settle down and be integrated, right? It's not just leaving. The body has changed. You've stretched your insides. You've stretched the lungs and the ribs and the intercostal muscles between the ribs. And feel what that feels like and let the mind again move around the whole body, inviting the mind to travel and touch the feet with their heels and their toes, right and left. The tops of the feet and the soles of the feet, taking a moment again to visit with the ankles and the lower legs, the two knees and the thighs, hips and pelvis, low back, abdomen, upper back, chest, the shoulders and the upper arms, elbows, forearms, and wrists, right hand and left hand. Give every fingertip a moment to check in, to say hello and thank you. To the right hand thumb, index finger, middle finger. fourth finger and little finger, and the left hand little finger, fourth finger, middle finger, index finger, and left hand thumb. Extending this kind inner warmth to the chest and throat, to the head, from the back to the chin, sides of the head and the cheeks, the lips and nose, the eyes and eyebrows, and the forehead, the crown of the head together, head and face, neck and shoulders, the arms, the trunk, the legs, together, the whole body. The whole body. The whole body. Take a moment to ask your whole body, what do I need? What does this body need? What are the resources that need replenishing? What do you need to reorder from the cosmic universe here? To realign, to repair, to rest. We've got a Mercury retrograde, so there's a return of old energies and maybe a release of old patterns, and this time to reassess and to review. You might stay right where you are in this liminal space of the nidra consciousness, and you might remain there for a while, and you might return. You might feel good, and you might think, oh, I'll be right back here later tonight or sometime tomorrow. And if you're preparing for something that's next, if there's more in your day or in your evening, take a moment to connect with your senses, to feel the sounds, to hear and feel the sounds around you, the sounds of the room, these instructions, the sounds of the body, all of the sounds, listening and feeling the breath, feeling the movement of the breath, the movement within the body of the breath coming and going. Feel the front and the back of the body, the right side, the left side, the whole body, the whole body. And as this practice is finishing for you, let the body begin to move. If you are indeed awakening and moving on, let the toes wiggle, let the fingers wiggle. You might touch the face, you might touch the eyebrows and the forehead. You might touch the hands to each other and the fingertips to each other. Whatever stretches and movements you might need a little twist if you're lying down or if you're sitting up. The twists help the nervous system with the little release around the spinal cord. You might need to hug yourself, either wrapping the arms around the body or even bringing the knees into the belly and the chest. Or you might need to open up and expand and reach in all the directions that you can reach and feel what you need to feel right now. What does this body need? And there might be some spontaneous movements, some stretches and directions that you are still feeling called to stretch in. Thank you for being here. Thank you for showing up, for taking care of your bodies here on Earth. Thanks for joining this session. If you haven't yet, please subscribe to the channel. Maybe hit the notification button to get the latest videos and like all the videos that you watch. If you enjoy these practices, consider making a donation. There's a PayPal link in the description and other methods on my website at olgachwa.com/sponsor. While you're on my website, please add your email to my list to get the updates of my new YouTube uploads and live Zoom classes and special workshops. All the things that don't even make it to the channel. It'd be great to see you. All gratitude. I'm Olga Chwa.